Resident Evil 8. I've been highly anticipating this game ever since it was announced in the PlayStation 5 Reveal Showcase. But surprisingly, while I knew of its release in May, it's actually coming out way sooner than I expected. 16 days is all we have to wait until the next big installment of the Resident Evil series releases. While I haven't been following the news about this game as intensely as some of you might think I would, not only have I seen all the trailers and showcases, but I just recently played the Village demo on the PS4, which allowed you to explore the village for a 30-minute time span. Despite my love for this series, however, I am likely the worst Resident Evil player in the world, because all I did was walk around cluelessly and run away from a bunch of werewolves until I shot all of them, all while not figuring out all I had to do was mantle over a wall to initiate a sick cutscene I didn't get to experience in game. So yeah, my first Resident Evil 8 experience was something to say the least. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and give my quick thoughts on the story information we have so far, along with the gameplay that I've seen and experienced. Now, in typical Capcom fashion, they've been super cryptic regarding the story of this game, which is a good move when it comes to Resident Evil. However, we do have bits and pieces to work with. So far, what we know is Ethan Winters, the protagonist of Resident Evil 7, has settled down with Mia and they had a child. But that all ends once Chris Redfield breaks into their home, shoots Mia, and takes the newborn with him. Fueled by his determination to get his child back, Ethan heads into a mysterious village, where werewolf and vampire-like creatures torment the remaining survivors. Now, one thing I've been hearing so far is some people are upset that it's unrealistic for werewolves and vampires to exist within a sci-fi horror series like Resident Evil. But come on guys, the writers aren't stupid. There's bound to be some sort of detailed explanation behind these creatures. Not only that, but this is the same series that has had shape-shifting leeches, giant invisible snakes, and huge blobby face monsters. As far as I'm concerned, this series has been jumping the shark ever since Resident Evil 0. Having werewolf and vampires aren't too unbelievable at this stage of the series. As for what I think about it from a design choice, I think it's pretty sick this game will have a Romania aesthetic to it. It will make for a truly unique and creepy environment, and I kinda think werewolves and vampires are awesome, so I don't have a problem with it. Also, I'm going to get into spoilers for not only the demo, but I guess the main game itself, so skip to this timestamp if you don't want to be spoiled. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have been warned. So as you guys know, I didn't get to experience the big cutscene in-game, but I did watch it on someone else's playthrough, and when Leonardo transformed into a werewolf and fucking killed everyone in the room with his daughter perishing in a fire shortly after, I was actually pretty shocked. When I saw them in the trailers, I was pretty sure they were going to be supporting characters throughout the story, but no. They both died pretty early on. If that's a sign of what's to come, this story is going to be pretty awesome to experience. Now for the elephant in the room. Chris Redfield as an antagonist. I genuinely don't know how this is going to play out. Like I said, Capcom isn't stupid. There's going to be a very good reason behind Chris's malicious actions for sure. What I'm not sure about is whether he's actually going to be a villain or if this concept is a well done fake out. If they take the crazy route and actually make a series protagonist into a villain, that will be too bold of a decision not to respect. I just hope they execute it properly. What I'm more concerned about is Chris's safety. That line in the teaser, his journey comes to an end, has me really nervous. Capcom already confirmed that this game is the second in a trilogy, meaning Ethan has to come back for the next one, so they could only be logically referring to Chris. Even if he doesn't die in this game, that line is signifying that this would be his final major appearance in the series, which actually makes me sad. I love Chris. No matter what happens, we'll have to wait until the game comes out to get answers. Gameplay wise, things are looking pretty good. Now, I have a confession to make. I have not played Resident Evil 7 yet. I know that's super strange since I'm skipping a main entry to a series that I love, but don't get me wrong, I still want to play it. But I don't have enough time to purchase and play through all of RE7 before 8 comes out, and I've already watched every Let's Play of it in existence, so I'm caught up when it comes to the story. The point of me mentioning this is that this is the first time I'm playing a first-person Resident Evil game, and because of that, I ran into a serious issue. The issue that I'm worried about because not only could it cripple my experience with the game, but worst case scenario, it will stop me from experiencing it altogether. And that is the motion sickness. I am not at all sensitive when it comes to this sort of thing. I play first person shooters all the time, and I can even play Call of Duty for hours straight with no issue. In fact, one time I stayed up 22 hours straight and did nothing but play Black Ops 3, and I never felt myself get dizzy in the slightest. I never experienced motion sickness in a game, and yet after playing this demo for 22 minutes, I had a huge headache and felt nauseous. I took a 1-hour nap and I felt fine after, but I'm worried that this would be an issue in the final game. I did some research on this, and not only did people feel nauseous during the exclusive PS5 maiden demo, but a huge amount of people felt sick after playing Resident Evil 7. I thought about it, and I think the main culprits are 1. The intense motion blur, and 2. The small field of view. Now, I understand the game not having a FOV slider since most games don't have that as an option, but why in the world can you not turn off motion blur? It should be the standard to have that as an option, especially in a first-person game. Now, I did find some tips some people recommended. I heard turning off camera wobbling, camera acceleration, and playing on a high sensitivity, as counterproductive as that sounds, all helped people out with this issue. I would definitely try all of that once I play the game for myself. Either way, I don't care if I throw up on myself, I will try my absolute best to play this game, even if it's only once. But in terms of actual gameplay, things are looking pretty good. Capcom is sticking to the survival horror roots, and there's some things from last titles coming back, such as the crafting system, upgrade system, and a merchant. Speaking of which, it's no secret that this game is trying to mimic the success of RE4, at least when it comes to the environment and more action-focused style. One thing that I find interesting is I think this game will be what people say Resident Evil 4 was, which I disagreed with. People all the time say Resident Evil 4 had a creepy atmosphere, and it also mixed survival horror with action-focused gameplay flawlessly, and I tend to disagree. Resident Evil 4 is a linear action game with limited ammunition. That's not really survival horror, and it definitely wasn't scary. This game, however, looks like it would not only be a survival horror title for sure, but it has a good chunk of combat, so who knows, it might be a perfect blend of the two genres. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Resident Evil 8 so far. While the whole motion sickness issue put a damper on my excitement, I'm still confident this game will be pretty awesome. Everything points to it being a solid entry, so let's hope I'm not wrong. As of right now, I'm trying to get my hands on a pre-order of this game, and once I play it, expect a video covering it in detail. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everyone. Hey guys, thank you so much for reaching the end of this video. Real quick, I just want to shout out my Wattpad account. For those of you into reading, I'm working on an entire catalog of novels, some of which are fanfictions of existing stories I'm super passionate about, like Resident Evil in the DC universe. If you would be so kind as to check it out and maybe read what I currently have on there, your support would be more than appreciated. With all that said, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.